Welcome to another episode of Jeremy Did It. Alright, so if this is the first video of mine that you've seen, please check this video up here as it leads into this one. Because in this one, I'm taking care of a water leak issue that I had found in my GeoPro 15 TB. Now, I don't know if I caused the water leak by when I was making the modifications, running the wire and whatnot. Maybe I bumped something and that started it, but I noticed it before I went to go putting everything back together. So once I noticed it leaking, I started doing some investigating and I started taking everything apart where it was leaking, and I found that the T that they used to splice in your water coming from your city water input and then to your holding water pump, then it branches over and goes through the inboard water filter. Now, I know a lot of people have removed that inboard water filter, and I might be doing that soon as well, but at this point I didn't. We'll get to that later. So when I started looking, I started taking everything apart, and these hoses are attached to this T, and this T is actually way too small for the hose diameter that they use. And then they use these PEX clamps on this hose to crimp them down around and get them tight. I fought like crazy trying to get this stupid PEX clamp off of there. And once I finally got it off and I pulled the hose off, I noticed that the T that they used is way too small for the diameter of hose that they used. So what I did was wrap the T up with Teflon tape real good to kind of build up some backbone for it. And then I put the hose back on there. But instead of using them PEX clamps, what I used was some 1/2-inch hose clamps, the screw down type. Luckily, I just had some on my service truck and for work, so I was able to just grab those, put those on there and use that. Now, I don't know what these clamps that I used are rated for, but I know I use them on airlines that have over 100 PSI worth of air on them. On the barb, you just stick the hose over the barb, put the hose clamp on there and tighten it down, and it stays for years. So that's why I went ahead and tried to use these. So far, they're holding good. This is only going to be temporary. I'm going to eventually put a bigger T in there, find something else to use, a different T. I'm going to eventually end up doing something different with this onboard water filter. I don't know if I'm going to swap it out with something different or just totally eliminate it like a lot of people do. I'm kind of wanting to switch it over to something different that you can find parts easily for. I did purchase a new filter that I was going to replace at the same time I was doing this, but as you can see here, the filter that I bought was wrong, which makes it another reason as to why I'm going to get rid of it and put something different in there. Yes, I used blue water filters that everybody uses that you put on the outside to filter your water coming in. This onboard filter is good for the water that's in your holding tank. If you run the water through your little blue outboard filter as you're putting it into the freshwater holding tank, it's filtered that away. But I mean, why not have it double filtered if you can, especially while it's sitting in a tank. I ordered the filter from Amazon, and it was the wrong one. So I've already contacted Amazon for a replacement and just get a refund. And so for now, I'm just put the canister back together without a filter in it. So it's just filling up with water and there's no filter on it at all. I'm just gonna leave it like that until I either decide on putting another one in there or just eliminate it. I'm not quite sure yet. Shame on Rockwood for using this T that is way too small for the diameter of hose that they were using. Because like I said, this is the hose that comes off your city water input and then tees down to where it can come off of your holding tank through your pump, or come through your pump out of your holding tank, goes through a filter and then out. Way too small of a T. Once I made my repairs, I did pressure test it. I didn't count the PSI, but I put my water regulator on there that I use at every campground I go to that has city water. Ran water back through it. Once I made the repairs, ran the water back through it, let it pressure back up, and I don't have any leaks anymore. This is something that I believe anybody that owns one of these GeoPro 15 TBs needs to look at. You need to check and make sure you're not getting any kind of leaks there. I just so happened to notice it because before I went to go putting everything back together, I let the camper sit there overnight, and then all through the next day while I was at work, and then when I came home, I was getting ready to go put everything back together and I saw water in there. Then I had to soak it all up with a towel, hopefully not ruining anything because I don't know how long it was leaking. I didn't see it leaking when I was done doing my repair. But apparently overnight and then all throughout the day, it started leaking. And that's what I came home to, another repair. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but if it does, here's at least a quick repair that you could do. Good luck. Hopefully we'll see you out there sometime.